Lovely starshine lights my way to bed. Magic rainbows glisten in my head. Just like a child, I live in Wonderland. All my dreams are
Hi, welcome to Handmade by Ditsy Tulip. I'm Mel and thanks for stopping by. In today's video I'm going to share with you some of the things that I made in August. First of all, apologies I've not been, I haven't released a video for a couple of weeks. I've just been really busy with a lot of different sewing stuff, which I'll explain in this video. But I just wanted to drop in with a quick update to share some of the things that I've made, because there's some real special garments with some really luxury fabrics. So I'll start with a beautiful slip dress. Now, first of all, I'll explain about this fabric, this absolutely gorgeous silk. It's 100% Italian silk. This was actually gifted to me by the lovely Di from Dream Cut Sew. She'd got this fabric in her stash and she'd seen that I'd been sharing some little hints and tips on Instagram on working with silk. So she asked if I wanted this piece, and it's not my usual colours, but you know what, I absolutely love it. I think it's great. It's made me try something that's a bit different, and it's so beautiful. So I'll bring it in close to show you the fabric in a second, but this pattern is the Sicily slip dress by Mason Sewing with Mason, something like that. I'll put a link in the video notes anyway. But this is a bias cut slip dress, which is actually the first garment I've ever made cut on the bias, and I was expecting it to be really difficult, and it wasn't at all. The pattern's got some really good hints and tips on working with fabric on the bias, and there was nothing difficult about it. The pattern comes as a full piece, so you work with the fabric in a single layer, but you don't have to worry about kind of flipping your pattern piece round or anything like that, because it comes as an entire piece, which I thought was great. And then working with kind of delicate, lightweight type fabrics, what I found works really well is I lay a large sheet of pattern paper on the table, and then I put the fabric on top, and then put the pattern pieces on, and then I pin through all the layers and I cut through all the layers. So that makes sure that the fabric's got some great stability when you're cutting it out, and it worked an absolute treat. This is fully sewn with French seams, so let me just show you those. So yeah, it's full French seams all the way through, which again adds to the luxury. It's got kind of a cowl neckline, which has got a facing on it. I'll show you the inside. And it's got these super thin straps, which were hard work to turn right side out, but they are really delicate, so work perfectly on this dress. Just show you the fabric up close now so you can see the lovely detail in it. It's got absolutely gorgeous colours, these purples, greens, blues, and then that lovely gold flower overlay. So absolutely love it. I'll definitely make more of these, and I actually think I'll get wear out of this out of all the seasons as well, because I've tried it on top of like a turtleneck sweater and things like that, and it works really well for that. Oh, one other thing I did for the first time, I did the hem via a hand rolled hem, which I've never done before. So again, that worked out well, and it didn't really take that long. Maybe an hour or so, but I just thought that gives it a really nice narrow hem, and it just felt special because it's such special fabric. It felt nice finishing it off by hand. So that's make number one. I'm now going to move on to my Minerva Blogger Network makes. So I received the fabric for free in return for writing a blog post for Minerva. So the first thing I did share these fabrics with you a short while back, so you might be familiar with the fabrics, but this first one is a Netty bodysuit, which is that's Closet Core Patterns, and this is made from beautiful art gallery fabrics jersey, which is, in my opinion, the most superior jersey out there. It just washes so well and it feels so nice to wear. I thought the colours in this were really gorgeous because it can work again in any season. The only thing to be careful of, and it looks worse on the hanger than it does on, is the flower placement. So you can see there, very nearly ended up with flowers on the boobs. But when it's on, I can just about get away with it. Actually, when I shared the fabric last time, somebody had commented saying, oh, I'd be really cautious with how I cut that fabric out for that reason, but I'd already cut it out, and then I thought, oh no, did I take note of where I was cutting it? And I didn't. So yeah, if I was doing it again, I would be very careful where I was placing it, and I'd make sure these flowers were way out of the way, but it's still absolutely wearable. A very near miss, but I absolutely love this. They're so comfortable, you can wear them with anything. I've done the version where I've added little snaps so that you can just undo it when you need to go to the loo and stuff, and this version is the high neck with the medium scooped back. So we'll add some photos in and that, so you can see what it's like on, but I'd love to make a version of this in all the art gallery jerseys. It's just so beautiful. So that's that one. And then finally is the silk, Lady McElroy silk that I shared again a few weeks back now. This is a silk crepe, I think it is, which feels absolutely glorious. It's so soft, so floaty, really lightweight. And again, this wasn't difficult to work with at all. I did the same principle where cutting out is the most difficult thing. So I just cut it out on a single layer with paper underneath. Again, it's finished with French seams. You can just about see them there. And I decided, again, after some great suggestions from you lovely people here on the channel, I was going to look at making a nice blouse out of this, but then I had more suggestions for kimonos than anything else, and I do love wearing kimonos, so I thought that I would make one. This is the named clothing dressing gown pattern, but shortened. Can't remember the name of the pattern. I'll insert a note in the videos. I've made a few versions of this now. I've shortened it because one, I didn't have enough fabric to make it long, and two, I wanted to be able to wear it primarily as not as kind of a dressing gown, but as a kimono with jeans and shorts and things like that, or maybe when I go on holiday, throwing it over a bikini and stuff like that, which it works perfectly for. It does also work nicely as a dressing gown, but it's a bit on the short side, so it isn't kind of your cosy, snuggly type dressing gown. But yeah, this turned out really beautiful. I love the colours, and it's absolutely gorgeous to wear. I have added belt loops. However, I didn't have enough of this fabric to make the belt, so I'm going to make a plain belt. I'm going to pick one of the colours, or maybe even the navy, the background colour, and make a belt up, but I've not got that fabric yet. So I'll do that at a later date. But I've worn this lots. As I say, it's really easy to wear with jeans and shorts and things like that. So that is the final make. So the other thing that I've been up to in August and so far in September is learning myself pattern drafting, and more so pattern draping. You might see this lovely lady here beside me. I've finally invested in a dress form which is pretty much exactly my size. This is from a company called Design Surgery London. I did research lots of different dress forms, and this is the one in the size 10, which pretty much exactly fits my size, which is great. And you may have seen from my previous videos kind of Pattern drafting and things like that is something that I've been wanting to learn for such a long time. I've got every book going, but I just haven't really been able to get to grasps with it that easily. But what I've done is I've signed up to the University of Fashion. If you're not familiar with it, it's a monthly subscription of £20, but you can cancel at any time. But there's loads of different classes for pattern. The little dogs come in if you can hear a pitter patter, for pattern drafting, pattern draping, fashion illustration, sewing. There's absolutely loads of lessons on there. So I thought that I'd give that a try, and I found it really, really useful. So you can see here, I've done my first bit of draping. I've draped a bustier bodice and it fits really, really well, which I was super happy with. So I think I definitely am more in favour of draping than I am making paper patterns. I've just found that it sunk in my brain easier, and I found that I could kind of see in advance what I needed to do, whereas with paper pattern drafting, all the numbers and all the equations I just really struggle with. I am going to keep going and keep learning whilst I've got the subscription, but I think draping will by far be my favourite. So I'll keep you posted with how I get on. Okay, I thought I'd just show you what you can see on the University of Fashion. So I've not logged in here, so this is what anybody can see when they go to the home screen. So you can see here, these are all the different types of lessons. So this is what I'm focusing on at the moment, is draping. So I'll just show you that. So you can see here it goes through a whole array of draping lessons from the very beginning, understanding a dress form, how to block fabric and get it correctly on the grain, and then the different type of draping that you can do. This is the one that I just showed you. This is actually a free lesson that anybody can complete as well. And so they are all kind of beginner. Then you've got intermediate, which looks at some more kind of fancy designs with ruffles and things. And then you've got advanced, which includes kind of more couture type details. But then you've got all different types of lessons. You've got fashion art, which teaches you how to draw the croquis, but then also how to actually do different types of fashion and different types of rendering, etc. You've got pattern making, which is very similar to the draping, but how to create paper patterns from measurements. And you can contact them as well if you've got a query, and I've contacted them a couple of times with queries, and they have had an email response within 24 hours, which again is great. So that's the University of Fashion. The second thing that I've signed up to, what I really want to do at the moment is push myself with my sewing. So I'm moving away from kind of more everyday garments because, well, quite frankly, I just don't need that many new garments, and it feels such a waste. And I really want to take my sewing skills to the next level. So I'm looking at kind of more sewing red carpet gowns, that type of thing, so learning that process. So there's another service that I've signed up to called the Corset Academy, because I'd really love to know how to make well-fitting corsets, which can then be used to make evening gowns, with nice lace embellishments and things like that. I've only just signed up to that one, so I'm watching the initial videos. Again, that's £19.99 a month, but you can cancel at any time. But it's got some extra perks in it because you've got loads of patterns that come with it, and there's also pattern adjustment software where I've not tried it out yet, but the idea is you've got standard patterns, you then take your body measurements and you put it into this software, and it tells you how you need to adjust the pattern to be the perfect fit for you. So rather than kind of having to make up a toile and then work out what needs adjusting where, you can do really accurate pattern adjustments on the paper pattern before you cut it out in the fabric. So I'll keep you posted with how I get on with that. What I found with both services, with the University of Fashion, the videos aren't that engaging. They're just kind of information, it's just giving information. So I'm finding I'm having to pause it a lot and make notes. With the Corset Academy, I can see that there's a hell of a lot of information, so it can be quite overwhelming, and I can see that some of the videos aren't of great quality, like where the camera's going in and out of focus, but then I can see as she's been adding newer videos, the quality is improving. Yeah, I'll keep you posted with how I get on with both of those and share what I learn. So now just show you quickly around the Corset Academy. So I have signed in here because it's quite difficult to see what classes are included without signing in. So there's 2 different tiers of membership. I'm on the lower level membership at $19.99 a month, and these are the different courses that I get for that. So I've got beginner course, I've got one that's wedding and evening dresses, skirts and petticoats, corset, pattern drafting and sewing, creating your own dress forms to any body size, and a specific wedding dress with detachable full skirt. And then I've also got the software that I mentioned where you put your measurements in and then it tells you exactly how you need to adjust the patterns. So for example, on this one, if I just open it up, you can see here then these are all the different lessons that are included, and each of those expands. So it goes through all the different rules of the different types of patterns for the different types of styles, etc. It then goes into sewing a corset, and then looks specifically at sewing different types of corsets, and then you go on to sew a specific wedding dress, and then you've got the patterns here. So for example, in corset patterns you've got loads of different styles of corset patterns. You can then use the software, which is here, to make the relevant adjustments. You make the adjustments manually, but you put the measurements into the software for the type of pattern that you're working with, and then it'll tell you how to change it. So lots to get my head around on this one. A bit overwhelmed at the moment because there's so much information, but so far so good, and it's really useful. So that's it. That's all I've been up to over the last kind of month, 6 weeks or so. What I've got coming up soon, I have just finished a lovely autumn dress from a beautiful mustard lawn fabric, which I haven't actually shared with you. So I will share that dress in more detail over the coming weeks, and then keep you posted with how I'm getting on with the pattern drafting. Oh, actually, and I've got a lovely piece of wool that I'm going to make something out of in October, but I've not quite decided what I'm making yet. But I'll keep you posted. Do let me know in the comments what you're up to at the moment, and I'll see you very soon. Bye. All my dreams